Greetings, comrades and comradettes. Now, before you get your tail feathers riled, let me explain why I use those terms. According to dictionary.com, the term comrade means friend, associate, or crony, or a fraternity of people with the same agenda or cause. More specifically, in this case, it should be comrades in arms. But frankly, comradettes in arms just wouldn't sound PC enough in this day and age. Okay, I'll get to it. My name, for those of you who are new on the block, is Bob Kerr. I am a veteran U.S. Marine. I'm an inactive, which means I no longer march, but I do fight. I fight from my computer keyboard and the saddle of my motorcycle. I devote a huge portion of my life to God and veterans, and I am passionate about what I do. I'm a proud member of the Christian Motorcycle Association, the Patriot Guard, VFW, the American Legion, and of Oath Keepers, an organization of men and women who are dedicated to forever honor their oaths to defend the U.S. Constitution. I'm also a board member of the East Texas Selective Service System, and by the way, we're looking for a few good men and women. Not to worry, they're in reformation like most other government organizations. But we're here to honor the veterans today, the brave 1% of Americans who serve or are serving this great nation in its second to none military. I'd like to recognize a few people with us today that I deem special and important. First and most important, of course, my gorgeous wife, Brenda. Brenda, would you stand up? And my family, some from Seattle, Kansas City, Winsboro, Durant, Oklahoma, Houston, Texas. Kids, will you please stand up? My niece's son, Bishop, who's a recent ROTC entrant. The room's full of important and powerful people today, but I recognize them in no particular order, with the exception of the next gentleman, who I hope is here, who through hard work, application, faith, and devotion to duty reached the pinnacle of military achievement. Is Major General Rex Driggers, Mount Pleasant, Texas, in the crowd? General Driggers served his country for 37 years. He was commissioned an Air Force Second Lieutenant in 1955 through the ROTC program at East Texas State University. Then graduated top of his class from U.S. Air Force Flight School in 1956, piloting many different aircraft through 1964. In 1965, transferring to the Air National Guard, he joined the 181st Air Refueling Squadron, where he flew the 6-engine KC-97L, a refueling tanker. General Driggers was a commander during Operation Creek Party, which kept the jet fighters refueled for 10 long years during the Cold War and into the Vietnam era. General Driggers was the former commander of the Texas National Guard and an innovator for military aviation. He also retired from American Airlines with 28 years service in 1993, where he accumulated over 23,000 hours and was a top pilot and simulator instructor. I could go on and on. Please give Major General Rex Driggers and his wife Nelda a rousing round of applause for their service. I have 3 World War II veterans among us today. I'm so proud and humbled that they're here. I'll mention first Bill and Elda Mitchell of Sulphur Springs. Would you please stand? Bill started his military career as a Navy aviator at age 18, just out of high school. After a tumultuous time training as a pilot, Bill was medically discharged and sent home. He was persistent. He was able to join the Air Force and flew 25 missions in France in 1945 as a ball turret gunner and lived to tell about it. Thank you, Bill, for your service. Miss Marine Bill Houston. Bill? Of Winsboro, Texas. Landed on Iwo Jima on February 20th with the 5th Marines and watched the flag being raised from the seat of his dozer on Mount Suribachi on February 25th, 1945. Well, we're glad to have you with us, Bill. Thank you so much for your help. Many of you here will recognize or know Mr. J.D. Baumgartner. J.D., you in the crowd? There he is. J.D. is a former mayor of Mount Vernon, Texas, and has continued as a civic leader. J.D. is a former Kansan, as was I, who got to Texas just as quickly as possible. He is and always has been a very busy man. J.D. joined the Navy in 1943 as a naval radar operator on the USS Natoma Bay in World War II, when radar was in its infancy. After World War II, he was called to the Army during the Korean War and served as an ammunition technician, as was I. Is there a pattern going on here? However, J.D. is a highly decorated with 9 Bronze Stars, 2 Korean Bronze Stars, and a Presidential Unit Citation, among others. Thank you, J.D. Did you give J.D. a big round? All 3 of these gentlemen have seen their 91st birthdays. Let's give all these old salts another round. Mount Vernon Mayor Margaret Sears and her husband Walter. They were out of town for a good deal of this last few days. Franklin County Sheriff Ricky Jones. Thank you, Ricky, for what you do, not only in keeping the peace, but for your patriotism and assistance in welcoming home all of our veterans every time we've asked you to help. My friend and political blogger, Macy Newsom and family. Macy, where are you? Where are you? Trying to hide the bag. Macy is last year's keynote speaker for this program. She's the president of the Hopkins County Republicans Women's Club, a candidate for Hopkins County Precinct 1 Commissioner, a self-described, God-fearing, ton-toting, pro-life, sassy old gal. Well described, by the way. And she's the wife of Major Jonathan Newsom of the U.S. Army, who is regrettably absent today. Jonathan's off commanding a bunch of heroes in training this weekend. My friend, the Honorable Judge Robert Newsom of Hopkins County, and his lovely wife, Robbie. Robert and Robbie are Macy's father and mother-in-law. Former Army Captain Matt Fisk and his wife, Lisa. There's Matt, Lisa. These endeavors now include the executive directorship of the building in progress of Lancer Legacy Ranch near Cookeville, Texas. A PTS rehab facility he and his wife and a band of brothers have taken on a heroic mission for sure. They give PTSD suffering veterans recovering and coping assistance and ask absolutely nothing in return. If anyone here suffers or knows someone who does, please see Matt after the close of this program. Thank you, Matt. Will the representatives from the, as I call you out, please stand. From the Christian Motorcycle Association, Bikers for Christ, Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association, the Patriot Guard, the VFW, the American Legion, the Iron Apostles, the Military Coalition, the Marine Corps League, the American Legion Honor Guard of Hughes Springs,